Good evening. It's fantastic to see so many of you here tonight for what is one of the highlights of the housing calendar. I'm sure, like me, you're looking forward in particular to hearing what the Mayor has to say in a few moments, and I know he will get us off to a great start. But before Boris does speak, I'm going to say a few short words, so no particular pressure there. Just been talking to the Mayor, and he said, this place is a tough gig, which is not really the thing you want to hear just before you're about to come on the stage, but nevertheless. And as far as I can see, the only good thing about speaking before Boris is I'm not speaking after Boris, so that's a good start. The CIH is the independent voice for housing and the home of professional standards, founded on values of professionalism and ethics. These principles are just as important today as they've ever been, and I intend to use leadership, ethics, and professional standards as my key themes during my presidency. I believe I'm a member of a professional body that has real ambition. Ambition for growth and ambition for all of its members. But what does that look like in practice? Well, last week, CIH announced its growth strategy and has some very, very clear intent behind it. Firstly, a relentless focus on professional standards. These will be our moral compass as we go forward, guiding the profession through these very, very difficult times. And we won't compromise on our ambition to create world-class places for people to live. Secondly, ensure we put our members absolutely at the heart of everything that we do, achieving a step change in our offer to individuals, to organisations and to the housing profession, teaching for the housing system of the future, providing you a best-in-class member service and giving you the edge in a very, very competitive employment market. And thirdly, broadening our network and widening the horizon of the organisation, adding depth to the debate and diversity in our membership from across the whole of the housing industry, and importantly, an opportunity to double our membership by 2020. So we are ambitious for CIH, and we're ambitious for you, your organisations, and for the communities that you serve. Our communities do deserve the best services and the best outcomes. Professional standards require a constant determination to improve in the homes we build, the places we develop, and the spaces that we design. People respect and respond to these standards. They are the hallmark of our profession. We must not compromise on them, no matter how challenging the environment will be ahead of us. And in the housing industry, we want to grow the talent within our sector and beyond, to pass on that commitment to professional standards and ethics to future generations of housing professionals. Last year, we saw more professionals seeking education, guidance and support from the CIH, professionals demonstrating a real thirst for knowledge, for self-improvement, making personal sacrifice and demonstrating real commitment to improve their learning, but importantly, the services that they provide. That is something I really welcome and celebrate. When I see the number of employers who continue to invest in education to support their staff and encourage their learning, then I know the future of the housing profession is in safe hands. But it's not just members and employers who understand the value of CIH. Government relies on us to understand how its policies work through our independence and our ability to analyse change. We offer government across the UK access to the knowledge and experience of over 22,000 members to influence the design and the execution of their policies across the whole of the housing industry. There is much to welcome in the policy framework that the UK government has set out, but I want to be clear about those areas where government can and should do more, and importantly, where we can help them. Firstly, it's all of our responsibility to speak honestly and directly about the government's response to the housing crisis. As the independent professional institute, CIH will continue to meet these challenges absolutely head-on. We welcome government's commitment to increasing housing supply and its recognition of the major role housing can play in driving our economic recovery. Every pound spent on housing puts nearly £3 into economic activity. Few industries can match us in that respect, and we have been absolutely relentless in making that case to government. As a result, I'm fairly certain government now understands the major contribution housing can make in stimulating the economy, and I certainly know the Mayor gets that. Like all of you, I'm looking forward to hearing Boris's speech. I'm sure it'll be fascinating, I'm sure it'll be absolutely entertaining, and maybe it will contain a few surprises. He understands that London and the UK's ability to respond to our housing crisis will be key to sustaining economic growth and retaining our international competitiveness. Boris's office was kind enough to issue a press release to us in advance, setting out some of the things he will say, and I'd like to comment on a couple of those now. See, I thought he knew that, clearly he didn't. On the borrowing caps, CIH did urge the government to lift local authority borrowing caps ahead of last year's autumn statement, so we're pleased to see that the Mayor is calling for the same measure. What you can't hear is me standing here with Boris saying, Lifting the caps would have benefits beyond London too. Our analysis shows that raising borrowing caps nationally by £7 billion could support the construction of 60,000 homes over a 5-year period, creating 23,500 jobs a year and adding £5.6 billion to the economy. What is good for London is good for the rest of the country too. On certainty, this is a critical issue to help organisations plan for future investment, and I welcome Boris recognising this within his press release. CIH believes the government could provide housing associations and local authorities with much needed certainty by moving quickly to address the uncertainty around social rents post-April 15, giving them the confidence to invest for the future. What we want is government to redouble its efforts to ensure that beyond a suite of policies, we now begin to see real progress on the ground. The tone and content of many government announcements about housing supply and economic growth have been very much welcomed. But concrete progress, literally concrete progress, has seemed very slow. Housing numbers are far too low and well short of the 250,000 homes a year we need to build if we are to make proper contributions to dealing with our housing crisis. Too many policies have been too long in their gestation and have yet to have any real impact, even months after their announcement. We welcomed the announcement of the £10 billion of government guarantees in September. We are now anxious to get on to a position where the guarantees can be agreed and the delivery of the new homes set in motion. But we also need to encourage ambition in government. In his speech, Boris will powerfully make the case for government to take an even more active role in leading our economy to recovery. Housing is absolutely placed at the heart of this strategy. Boris is right, therefore, in our opinion, and this asks challenging questions of government and the level of resources they are investing in housing. The investment made to date obviously is welcome, but it's not enough. Government can and should do more, and CIH will set out our vision in our submission to the 2013 Comprehensive Spending Review. But we also want to provide a sense of the longer term. Government does need to recognise the risks inherent in dealing with a crisis. In dealing with the short term, we overlook the longer term. We need to address the immediate crisis. But there is also a need to address the serious long-term challenges we face, and they require effort and energy too. One of these is the relationship between housing and the tax system. At the moment, the structure of the tax system does not help to deliver a functional housing market. It can distort prices in the market, create house price inflation, and penalise brownfield development. And it's not designed to encourage investment in bringing forward land or in environmental efficiency. In short, the system is not fit for purpose and needs proper analysis and serious reform. And CIH intends to demonstrate to government the need for reform and to recommend improvements. This work is long-term. It won't happen next month or even next year. But we are convinced that it requires proper attention, and we intend to convince government that that's the case too. So we have a busy and a challenging and demanding year ahead of us. The focus of my presidential year will be to ensure that as professionals, we don't compromise on standards or on ethics, nor on our ambition to deliver world-class housing for everyone. We know that we are working in a very, very tough environment, and that is a challenge for us all to rise to. So I'll challenge us as a profession to maintain investment in our skills and abilities despite the difficult environment we are in, and to be a strong profession, to have confidence in our ability and our value. Importantly, to have confidence in our values. And that challenge brings a wonderful opportunity to shout about what we do and to demonstrate the impact that we can have. I really, really don't think we should waste that. The leaders of our profession, of our industry, are here tonight. You are, we set the standards by what we say, by what we do, how we act, and how we lead. Your leadership is critical to our future. I wish us all a very, very successful year ahead. It is now my very great pleasure to hand over to the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson.